All right. Hi, everybody. It's Mike Rains with Remax Terrasol here in the Huntington Beach in the general Orange County area. Welcome to the Mike Rains Real Estate Channel, where we try to bring as much value as we can to both buyers and sellers so that they can be successful in what they're trying to accomplish in their goals in the real estate market. And so today we have a special guest with us. We have Kathy Marks of I4 Design Staging. Welcome, Kathy, to the show.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me. Great
I,
show.
I'm so excited to be talking with you. We've worked together in the past. What I want to start off with today is just kind of, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about why you got into this particular genre of the real estate market.
Sure. So it was over 5 years ago. I retired. I was in corporate America and I was a business person and doing great. It came to the point where my stock options vested. I retired. My husband and he's a builder. We were flipping homes. We flipped 6 homes back to back, and I staged and decorated all of them. So it was very organic. It wasn't anything I wanted to do. I wanted to, rescue my dogs and go off into retirement. So this just completely put a wrench into everything for me.
So
so those
is
are
it
friends
fair
like
to
you.
say, is it fair to say that you discovered your eye for designs?
Fair to say. And so friends like you, Mike, that walk through our properties that we sold, they love the staging. Everyone loved the building, but so many compliments on the staging. And I just love doing it. So I was doing it for you guys just to do it. I wasn't charging anybody. I just had some stuff and I was just doing it. And it was really a passion for me.
That's awesome. Well, I can't think of anybody that I know. I'm sure there's somebody out there, but I don't really know anybody that doesn't love walking through like model homes of the new builders, and they're all staged, right? So you walk in, you're like, oh my gosh, can I have this one? And so that's where I kind of became a little bit more keenly interested in staging and how it affects real estate and stuff. That was quite a bit of years ago. But we're in a changing real estate market right now, right? You've seen that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very suddenly, very different market we're in.
Yeah, well, real estate goes in cycles. And so we're in that part of the time where, things have been so red hot for so long. And now things are kind of coming back down to reality. And so, what are you seeing out there as a stager in the changes of the real estate market? And how have you seen this impact whether sellers are calling more about doing staging? What do they feel like? Is it more competition and things like that? Has that affected your business?
It has. And that's a great question because we are getting new clients that we've never worked with before. So we're grateful for that. A lot of times they're more of, I don't ever do staging. I've never done staging before. How can I sell this property? It's been sitting on the market for over a month now. Please come and see what you can do with this property. Okay. And so, yeah, a lot of new clients that are really wanting to move the property that at one time, not that long ago, put a stick in the ground and it was selling. So they're doing everything they can to get their property sold.
Yeah. So what, people that are new to staging, they've heard of it. And like you said, there's a lot of first time people that are calling you like, I've never done this before, but what are some of the most common reasons that you've discovered in your history here that make people hesitate on considering staging?
There's a lot of reasons. A lot of times it's a very passionate family, an older couple, they raise their children in the property. Their furniture is beyond beautiful for what they picked out over the last 50 years or whatnot. So those people don't need any help. They've got it all figured out as far as they're concerned. So those types of people really, they don't want to stage, and sometimes maybe they shouldn't. Also, your question was regarding some of the reasons why people don't want to stage, right?
Well, almost like why they would hesitate, what
a
are
lot
some
of
of the
times,
reasons?
a lot of times it just financially doesn't seem feasible to them. If you don't know the ROI on what staging or home improvement can do for you when you're selling a property, it's hard to wrap your head around putting a couple $1,000s into something that you're just going to sell anyway.
Right.
So yeah, it's sometimes real hard for them. So that's where the education needs to come in. And that pretty much comes in on your level, because if they don't get past your idea of staging, they're never going to talk to me.
Right. Well, I thought that that would be one of the major barriers is the real estate agent, and that number one, they might not understand it and the benefits of it. And number two, if you think about it, they're fighting for the listing in the first place. And
Yes.
so, when you're talking with a seller, the seller's one of the concerns is always about like, what's your cost? How much do you charge? What's included? And those folks are conscientious about the cost of selling. So I imagine that real estate agents possibly could be like, do I want to bring up something that costs, two, three, $4,000, maybe even five if it's a big home, and that's another cost that they're going to pin on me. So I would imagine that real estate agents could be one of the barriers.
It is true. And you said it perfectly as far as you guys are fighting for every listing. Let's face it, there's not a whole lot of listings that come up, and you guys are fighting for every listing. And you don't want to, tick off your client right off the bat. You want to make sure you get your client, your customer, hopefully to be soon client. You want to make sure that you're meeting that person where they are. So, yeah, I think for you and for your colleagues, it's important for you to really just pull up the statistics from the National Association of Realtors. That's right there at your fingertips. And they're pretty profound statistics. I mean, you guys are our biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah.
And if you look at the ROI, it's pretty significant, actually very significant. It's, kind of like a cash register, a little money in and a lot of money comes back out.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, one of the models that is it okay if I tell you about one of the models that they
Yeah, well, what we're gonna I was just gonna jump in and just say you're right. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest questions that both maybe even realtors and homeowners kind of ask themselves is like, can this really make a difference, in the overall sales price? And if I put this money in, is this going to pay off for me? And I think that's probably one of the biggest questions that are asked in their minds, at least, even if they're not voicing it to a realtor when they bring up the idea of staging. So yeah, let's talk about like what that looks like as far as, stats and stuff like that you started to mention.
Oh yeah. Okay. So one of the statistics that they showed was it was a model, and they said that over 2,000 realtors, they weighted on this survey and agreed, 71% agreed that a professionally staged home would sell for more between 1 and 20% more if staged rather than being unstaged.
Okay.
So yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. So I was reading more about this, and then it looked like they picked a model of, I would say, a Huntington Beach starter home, $750,000 or was around there. And in this model, they put 5,000. So maybe they did some upgrades and painting and whatnot also, because a $750,000 home probably wouldn't need $5,000 worth of furniture.
Right.
So anyway, they took it even on a conservative level at 3%. And the overall net profit in that model was $17,500 more for the staged property.
Right.
So that usually gets them right away. It's like, gosh, it's just putting a little bit of money in and getting a lot of money back out.
Right.
It's pretty compelling. So
yeah, and I would go back to the new home build when they have the model homes that people come in and tour. People, I think you would agree with this. People buy emotionally and then they justify it later logically. And so those places are designed when you walk in, and I'm sure yours is exactly the same way, to have that instant appeal emotionally to the buyers. And in different areas of the home, and that way they start falling in love with the home right from the get-go based on that appearance. So how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is that factor? Meaning when they walk in the door, how important is it for them to connect with that home right away?
It's really important. I would say a 10. I really would. It's our job, and we talk among our team all the time to capture that emotional sale. And we always say we have 3 to 7 seconds to get them. We always say, get them at hello. And so in the entryway, we try to put something fantastic. We try to get them right in those wow rooms. We walk in, the door opens, and you get the wow.
Right.
And by the time possibly they get to one of the ancillary bedrooms that their budget there wasn't in the budget to stage those bedrooms.
Yeah.
they're already sold on the property. They're already sold. They're already in love. They're already placing their
Right.
children, whichever bedroom they're going to be in, and what room's going to be the home office, and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So that's our goal, 3 to 7 seconds.
Yeah, well, and you brought up something that's important, so I'll just ask you this. So if somebody has like an older home, maybe it's, mom and dad have had it, now they've passed away, and so the kids are dealing with, what do I do with this property? And now they've decided to sell it, but it's kind of in original condition, and there's not a big budget to do a whole lot to the house, so they're not going to remodel. They might do a little painting and might change the carpet out just to kind of get that fresh, kind of just a little bit of a touch. Is that a property that you would recommend to have staged? And if so, why and how do you go about doing something like that?
The best. Those are the funnest. When we get an original property, we love it for this reason. The transformation is by far the greatest.
Okay.
And we can do some fun things with an original property. And I mean, we can put some more traditional elements in there. We have a lot of fun with our accessories. We bring pops of color to make that home really feel inviting. And we always say it's the biggest transformation. It's the biggest transformation. So we feel that those types of properties, they're paying the same amount of money as a new build would for us.
Okay.
And they're getting a lot more for their buck than somebody from a new build, just simply because of the overall transformation. And it's really fun. We have a lot of fun with those types of properties.
Okay, well, see, now you just educated me, because as a realtor for 21 years now, I would have thought, okay, maybe that's one that you don't, but you're saying that that's actually one that would show the most.
The most.
So
those are the most important.
Yeah, if somebody's gone through this giant remodel and it's just gorgeous from the front door all the way into the kitchen, that actually, it looks nice, but it kind of looks together like as if it was the furniture that belonged there. Whereas you're painting this beautiful picture of this older home of what it could look like, given a few little other changes that might, you're saying, is this right? That they would have a greater emotional attachment possible?
A lot greater, a lot greater. We get compliments and comments like this. I never thought I would ever be purchasing or even considering an original or older property. This property is so homey. We love it.
Okay.
It has so much potential. And we get a lot of compliments and comments like that the realtor, quite frankly, is okay. And those types of colleagues of yours and you guys, those are the properties we get called on a lot because of that.
Well, that's awesome to know. I will definitely keep that in mind. So, okay, so you guys obviously buy older homes, you kind of do the repairs to them, and then you turn around and flip those properties. Tell me some of the personal experiences, because you've obviously, each one of your homes, I would imagine, the stager, and she does a good job. So you're able to implement staging in your business model. So tell me some of your experiences on that.
As far as our own experience on our own properties?
Yeah.
Okay, so we staged everything. As far as, I love staging. I personally think that a decorated room is better than an empty room. And I was able to go ahead and do that for our properties. I think that sometimes people are, and let me know if I'm on where your thought process is on this. I think sometimes people, they truly do need to negotiate with their budget. And I was able to just decorate every room because it was my passion. It was something I wanted to do.
Right.
And we went ahead and did it. And all of our properties looked phenomenal. And that's actually what started me into the industry.
Okay.
But if you are negotiating with your budget and your client is really strapped and really feeling some pressure, take the ease off, take off some of those ancillary rooms. Let's get them, like we said, at hello at the front door and through those wow rooms.
Right.
And the ancillary rooms can always be decorated at another time. They can decorate them themselves.
Okay.
A good thing is to have your clients get into the decorating process. It will save them a little bit of money.
Okay.
And there's something that that they can do easily: a potted plant, an easel with a nice, one of their nice pictures on it. You keep it clean and simple. A couple of nice magazines on a coffee table. That always works really well. They can go to one of the local stores and TJ Maxx or whatever, and they can buy some nice new pillows, that type of thing, to just bring it upscale a little bit if they wanted to help out with their budgeting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you brought up something that I hadn't thought of before, but it just made me think of it. So, uh, if somebody already has a house full of furniture and stuff like that, do you recommend that they kind of empty the house out and let you take over from there, or how can it work if someone has stuff?
So we only stage properties that have nobody living in them.
Okay.
So, and I know that a lot of staging companies, they've gone to that model simply because when a pandemic hit and it was just very, very difficult to do business with humans living in the property.
Right.
So, through all the regulations and everything. So that's our model. But if people have nice looking furniture and there's a family room and they want to, they're going to move out, but they're going to leave some of the furniture there, they can put the family room together and make it look very nice. We can give them some suggestions on their own furniture, and then
Okay.
we can take over the other rooms. But I do suggest that most of their furniture is removed from the property as much as they can afford. If they really can't afford to stage the family room, then we will work with them on whatever they want to leave behind, and we'll say, please don't leave this old sofa.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I can do a lot, but I can't do anything with that.
We will be gentle, but we'll
Yeah.
make sure that sofa's out of there.
Right. That's awesome. So, everything has different styles, right? So I recently was in a home where they staged it really nicely, but it was in like one of those mid-century modern type of stuff. And it just happened to be that my clients loved that. They had already had their furniture that way, and their decor. So when they saw this, it really made a difference of them falling in love. What styles are kind of in right now, or do you guys use multiple styles? Or is there kind of like, we're in Huntington Beach, so beachy? What's the styles that you see out there
No,
right
that's such another great question, because the styles, they move very quickly. They
now?
do. Remember all the gray walls, and now it's coming back as grayish walls, and
Yeah,
more white walls and things like that.
yeah,
So as far as decor of furniture, yes, we started out over 5 years ago, coastal modern, and there was a lot of blingies, a lot of lanterns, a lot of very coastal things, and of course we're an Orange County company.
right.
As things have changed, mid-century modern is always going to be fun, especially if you're in a mid-mod home. If the architecture of the home is mid-century modern,
Yeah.
then you can have a lot of fun with mid-century modern. So we kind of go to the architecture of the home,
Okay.
and we also go to geographically. If it's in an area
Oh,
in
yeah.
Los Angeles, in a real hip, fun area, then we do more of that boho chic.
Okay.
And it's a very Scandinavian look, and that's really hot right now. Yeah, we have to show you some of our new Scandinavian things.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Whole new line. Yes, it's so fun. So we try real hard to keep up to date with what is actually going on in the marketplace. And sometimes we can rehab some of our furniture. Sometimes we chuck it and we buy new furniture.
Yeah.
So we try real hard. A lot of times we can do it with accessories,
Okay.
and really keep our staple furniture together. So it's a lot of fun, but staying up with the times is really important to keep educated and to make sure we know what's going on in the environment locally,
Okay.
and what the architecture of the home is.
Okay.
And let's say bottom line, the client is paying us, we need to make the client happy as well.
Okay, good. Well, that's all great information. So can you tell us a little bit about the staging process and how people get started, and kind of what are the steps of doing staging? If they're a seller in the market today, what should they do next?
Absolutely. So usually talk to their realtor, their trusted source.
Yeah.
You guys know the people that you want to work with, and if you're in a certain environment, you can think, Kathy, she's great. This is a mid-century modern. We're going to pull a little Scandinavian feel in here, and she's going to be perfect for this. And so you can tell them, listen, it's going to be between $2,000, $4,000 to get, depending on how much you want staged. These are some of the pictures, and then you guys call us, and then at that point we come and walk through the property. We walk through the property. We really try to feel the property to see what the property needs. Understand from you, if the seller is not there, what the seller really does envision. And we try to make sure that their vision does come to reality. After that, we take our videos and our measurements. We go back to our shop, and then that's where the fun starts. And we start to design on paper, start tagging the furniture, what we're going to use for the property, what kind of feel, the overall feel that we're trying to establish in that property. And
Okay.
then we will send a contract, we'll send a proposal of how much it's going to cost.
Okay.
Once we get a thumbs up about the proposal, we'll send a 2-page contract for signatures. And with a date for install. And then we come in and we like the property to be completely done of all construction. We need to make sure we've got access to that front door. It's funny, sometimes they're paving the stoop, you know, in the front.
Yeah. You're like, darn it.
Yeah. It's like, dude. So anyway, we don't like anyone in there just because we will fix whatever somebody doesn't like. But if someone sees us bringing one lamp at a time, or one coffee table at a time, they can't see the overall picture.
Right.
So we like someone to walk in and get that real feel of completeness.
Okay.
And then after that, we have a contract. It's a 3-month contract for the unit price, and it's a 3-month contract. After the 3 months, we do go into monthly rentals.
Okay.
And that's
spelled out in the contract, obviously.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
And then when the house sells and all contingencies are lifted, you call us and say, come get your stuff. And we say, we come grab it. And we get a clearance on when's a good time. And we'll come in and we'll take the stuff, and you guys can go ahead and close your escrow.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that sounds really neat. I've personally experienced it myself in using staging and so forth like that. And it's really made a difference on that. So I really appreciate you taking the time to help us, because that's what we're trying to do is be able to educate and to be able to help each other. And I feel like I got educated today on a couple things I didn't know. So you as the viewer here today, if you're an agent, I'll have Kathy's information in the description so that you can be able to click on her website and contact her. And certainly if you're a seller, we'd love to be able to connect with you and see how we can be able to implement something like this in the selling of your house on that. So Kathy, this is the fun part. Okay. I've not talked to Kathy about these, but I usually fire out a couple of questions at the end just to kind of get something off the cuff. What's your favorite movie that you've seen recently?
Oh no. Okay. Let me think. What's your favorite movie? I love sci-fi.
Okay.
I do love sci-fi. I like Lucy. I thought that was a great, and I know that's not a new movie, but I just recently saw it. I thought that was,
okay.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
Okay, good. That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen a movie in forever. I need to get back out there. I've kind of watched stuff on like YouTube and Amazon Prime and stuff like that.
Well,
but,
yeah,
okay.
Same here.
Yeah. So the last question then for you today is, hopefully after COVID, you've been able to get out there and travel some and stuff. What's been your favorite destination in say the last year?
Oh boy. Last year we've been doing a lot of staycations.
Okay.
We've been visiting a lot of our local hotels, doing staycations. That's been a lot of fun. We went to Santa Barbara. That was a lot of fun. We stayed in a real nice, quaint hotel. There's so much character there.
Yeah.
And it was fun just to get out of the beaten path, and that was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for that, because those are unscripted or anything like that, so it's always fun to see what people say. Kathy, I just really want to thank you for spending the time with me today and being able to help us as realtors, and also for those that are considering staging as sellers, of what that kind of looks like and the benefits of that. Make sure you guys that are listening, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget, make a comment in the comment section below, and you'll see the Remax logo there. Just hit that and you can subscribe to the channel. And I just want to thank you for tuning in today. This has been Mike Raines with the Mike Raines Real Estate Channel, and you guys have a great week. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.